The great thing about the ground is that it offers so many different ways that we can sit, rest, and wait on the ground. The ground is tough. It's hard. We get a lot of sensory input, and eventually we get tired of all the pressure that we feel on the ground. Number one, this is a good thing. Think about all the people that are using foam rollers and buying different devices to massage their body. If we spend a lot of time on the ground would do that for us. Rolling out our hips, rolling out our calves, even our back muscles can be rolled out simply from the weight of the ground. But we do time out pretty easily on the ground. Within 3, 5, sometimes 10 minutes, our body encourages us to move. This is a very good thing. It means that when we are on the ground and spending time on the ground, we are encouraged to move, change positions, change locations of pressure on the ground to our body. The more that we move, the healthier our body is. So this might be a little bit annoying in the beginning to have to constantly fidget and adjust, but eventually, as we accumulate time on the ground, this means that we're moving more. More moving, more health, more capability. So this is a very good thing. Let's go over some ground resting positions. The first ground resting position is going to be Seiza. In Seiza, my feet are in the fetal position. My heels are on the outside of my hips, cupping the outside of my hips like a small bowl. My hips are back behind my rib cage and my chest is up. This is a very good posture for us. Highly encourage that you have a nice ground mat, wrestling mat, anything that would make the ground more comfortable for you. Please do that. Just like buying a really nice chair, buy some really nice ground mats for yourself. In this Seiza position, your ankles might be tired or you might not have the mobility to get there. Our option for that is going to be in our samurai position. In both of these positions, we have our knees and feet, our contact on the ground, heels are on the outside of our hips, just like that. This is a very natural human position, one that everyone should maintain. If you've lost it, I highly encourage that you get it back. From Seiza, we can simply go to hands and knees on the ground, this one right here. This is a great position to watch TV from, to rest, to relax, to read a book, to watch a movie, anything from here. This is also a place where we can slowly work back our mobility to get back into Seiza or into the samurai position. With Seiza, the benefits, we are opening up our hips, our spine has the ability to open up, and our ankles. From Seiza, we go into half Seiza. We take one of our legs, we pull it forward, we place it here. One foot on the outside of my knee, just like this. In this position, my foot is not out or collapsed. It's tucked underneath, protected here within my body. I have a nice shield on the right side of my body. Everything is slowly turning into that shield. This is a very strong position. This is upright fetal position. Upright fetal position. So upright fetal position, simply half Seiza. From this position, I could take one of my hands, wing it around, and I begin to open things up. I've got access to my foot here, where I can do some foot movements. I've got access to the back right side of my neck and my right shoulder. Of course, if I tap out here, I can switch. Go into the other one. Half Seiza on this side. I have this foot. Shield on my left. Very natural position here. From this half Seiza position, then I can take both feet in front of me to just this resting butterfly. With the resting butterfly, I can use my hands to support myself and keep myself upright. I can see my feet here planted firmly on the ground, squeezing, gripping the ground, staying here in this position. Eventually I'm going to get tired. It's going to be a lot of back work, a lot of spine work. So I'm going to grab my feet, pull them a little bit closer, and let my knees go wide for this butterfly. Butterfly on the ground. Butterfly is a great way to open up the inner thighs and let everything relax here to the outside. From butterfly, I can start to condense it. Everyone knows crisscross, just crossing one leg over the other. It's really important in crisscross that we try and get that outside top side of the foot to be on the ground. Here in crisscross. Crisscross is good. I highly recommend in crisscross that you try and get out of this position as much as you can. Hands on either side of your feet. Walk your hips back as far as you can. And then stand up from there. A much nicer crisscross. That type of crisscross feeds into our half and full lotus. A half lotus is when we take one of our legs and we rest it on top of the other. This foot is going to go in my hip crease. So I'm going to take that blade of the foot and pull it into my hip crease, or as close as I can to that. I'm going to kind of condense myself. Half lotus here. This is going to be much easier for me to be upright in a half lotus position. It's going to, naturally, I'm going to be collecting my legs underneath my hips. It's going to be harder for me to hold this type of position in a half lotus. It's going to feel much more natural to be in this one. And of course, for the very mobile and flexible people, we've got the full lotus. There's a reason that the yogis use this position and master meditators use this position to meditate in, because it's the easiest position to remain grounded and for our spine to remain upright in a good position. Even in this position, our hips are still moving to the back space and everything is upright on top of it. If you have full lotus, it's a fantastic working position for the ground. So good for the body. If not, we've got the half lotus options. And we even have crisscross. Everyone should be able to work up to half lotus. Let's do a small series to work up to half lotus right now. We're going to have our legs in front of us. Then we're going to take one of our legs and we're going to crisscross it over the other. Just like that. Then we're going to take the straight leg and bend it here. Then all I have to do is take this standing knee and let it fold over. Just like that. Half lotus. Ta-da! Origami for the body. What else do we have? We have some nice positions like this one. The grappler position. In this position, I've got a strong foot and a strong hand right here. I'm not completely relaxed, but I'm pretty active here. From this position, I have a lot of movement options. I can come off my right foot and go this way, but I can also stand up from here. This is just a hop skip away from our full half lotus, the grappler. And from here, we can transition into our low resting squat world, pulling one leg through, coming into our gargoyle squat. Many of us don't have the full resting squat, heels on the ground, chilling out, hanging out in this deep squat. So I encourage people to work on the balls of their feet with a nice calf raise here. There's nothing wrong with this. Owning this first before we try and get this world owning the gargoyle squat. That gargoyle squat is very important here for ground resting. Okay, let's go through those ground restings again. From our gargoyle squat, we can go to hands and knees, hands and knees can always go to gargoyle squat. We can sit back into Seiza or Samurai. Then we can roll onto one hip and we can go into our grappler or half lotus whirl. From half lotus, we can go into crisscross. From crisscross, I can go into half Seiza. There are so many options. The only way to get good at these options is to spend time on the ground, playing in these options. Some of them are going to feel good one day, some of them are going to feel good on another day, and that's okay. It's very okay if you're in one position for a couple minutes, and then you go to another position, and then another one, and then here. All of this is so good. We're doing myofascial work for the body. We're getting our joints into end range compression, getting blood flow to certain areas, compressing our guts. We're moving at the end of the day. This is a good overview of some healthy ground resting options.